Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of All Bass No Bull. Got a great special guest today. I have got Logan Parks. Logan is on his second year of the elites. Logan has a great list of accolades. I mean, 2021, him and Tucker Smith, they were the anglers of the year. They qualified for the Cup. And they won Saginaw Bay. They didn't finish any lower than 16th. Same year, they won the Johnny Morris Bass Pro US Open with $1 million. And then Logan started the foundation for the Logan Parks Fishing Foundation. So, with all that being said, let's introduce my good buddy Logan Parks.
What's up?
What's happening, Logan?
Not much, man. Just hanging out. Thanks for inviting me on the show.
No problem. Glad to have you, man. I'm sure you're teeing up to get ready to head my way to Oklahoma.
Yeah, dude, we're freaking ripping through the season. I feel like I blinked and things have just absolutely flown by and crazy. We're down to our last three events and in turn around that's going to be over. So hopefully we can finish strong. And I think I've pretty much blown my opportunity at AOY after my Lake Fork finish, but we still have a good chance to get inside the top 10 in points. And that's kind of my goal now for the rest of the season.
Yep, everybody's always wanting to be in that Bassmaster Classic, so those points are right in there, and you've been doing great. Had a great season. I mean, Lake Fork is one of them that just you got to have a stumble every now and then. It's unfortunately at that one where there's giant bass, you don't really want to stumble because you want to roll in that dirty 30.
Yeah, it sucks. It definitely sucks, but it is what it is. I was happy. My college partner Tucker actually brought home the win there. It was cool. Stuck around for the weigh-in to see him win, and the Sabine was a scary one. Having a back-to-back and having a no live scope basically event like the Sabine right after a event that I feel like I should have done really well at Lake Fork. It would have been easy to just kind of go into it with a negative mindset, but I honestly just kind of kept it simple and just fished shallow and kind of knew what I needed to do there and put my head down and grinded it out and was able to walk away with the top 30 there. So I was very happy to kind of get back into the check range and have a good event to finish the Texas swing.
Yeah, we were all kind of dumbfounded when Bass released that schedule. It's like, how can you go to Sabine right after Fork? It's like, let's go catch a 10-pound bass and let's hope we have five bass that weigh 10 pounds.
Yeah, I think it may should have been the other way around, where we
Yeah,
started small and ended big. But
exactly. Build your
it is
hopes up.
what it is. It was cool. I enjoyed it honestly.
Well, one of the things we're doing at All Bass No Bull here with Ricky and Bass 365 is no drama, right? We're all about just having fun, talking about the highlights. And one of the reasons that I'm hosting this thing is a guy that's behind the scenes, marketing, content creation, sponsorships, that kind of stuff. And you stand out. I mean, I've told my son, obviously, and both my boys, but you've kind of grasped that at a young age. You've learned that, hey man, this is just more than fishing. I think there's a lot of people that really don't understand that. So what I wanted to do is, you won the US Open. Everybody talks about that. You won $1 million, you won a $500,000. Now we know Tucker took half that, a greedy little sucker. But with that being said, when it came to sponsorships, and man, you qualified for the elites right away after that, you're on your second year. Did sponsors just come knocking on your door, or did you have to grind it out and work? Like, how did you become knowledgeable and understand that, hey, man, I really got to go get some sponsors?
Yeah, I really took kind of a different path than a lot of other people have. In that I didn't really grow up tournament fishing at all. I grew up fishing. I loved fishing. I loved to catch whatever. The bigger, the better. Whatever I could cook and eat is what I wanted to catch. I grew up fishing the farm ponds at my grandparents' house, and I also played baseball. And when I got cut from the baseball team in eighth grade, me and my buddy that fished after school every day started the fishing team at Auburn High School. So that's when I got my first taste of tournament fishing. And before that, I'd followed along with the sport. I would say probably like fifth grade, I kind of started, knowing who Skeet Reese and KVD and Iconelli were. I mean, they were on all the faces of all the lures at the local bait shop here in Auburn. So kind of started following along, and then started fishing tournaments in eighth grade, and, gradually improved and got better and fished in college at Auburn. And Auburn was a cool program where it was 100% student run. So we didn't have a coach or a faculty member or really anyone overseeing how the team was being run, from pretty much anything, whether it was like how we spent our money. The only thing they really like oversaw was how we got reimbursed with the little bit of school funds they gave us, which slowly kind of disappeared over the years. When I took over the team as president, they didn't give us a dime. So it was really up to us to raise all the money ourselves. But we had such a big brand with the Auburn University bass team, being that, Steve Kennedy attended Auburn. He's always wearing the Auburn hat. Matt and Jordan Lee really came through and blew the program up with all their success, and put us on the map. And we were really one of the original bass teams that started back in 2007, or I think it's 2007 when they started college fishing. Auburn was really kind of one of the first ones, and they're still now it's kind of shifted to where it's like mostly private schools with coaches and a lot of funds that are dominating, and you're seeing these big D1 schools kind of fade out. And that's because, a lot of them are student run, and it just depends on the people there at the time that you're there and how they choose to run the program. But all that to be said, that I took over as a leader in the team. I started as tournament director and social media manager, and that was when I was my second year in college. And I kind of learned, a lot about social media, how important it is to post, how difficult it is to rely on other college kids to send you content to post. Really kind of got my first taste of posting basically for a brand. I mean, I would say Auburn University Bass Team is a brand. So, scheduling posts and staying on top of it, it was a big responsibility for a sophomore in college. So I'm thankful for that opportunity. From there, I went on to become the vice president and then the president of the team. And those two roles really were directly involved with going to ICAST, meeting with sponsors, negotiating deals, sponsorship deals for the Auburn University Bass Team. And really, it's no different than what I do now. I was just selling the fishing team instead of myself. And that's something I feel like maybe some of the students that go to some of the other colleges where their coach handles all that lose the ability to, get in there and make those decisions and make those negotiations. And it taught me everything, man. Like I didn't know anything about how to sell a sponsorship or what, how valuable I was, and, all that stuff. So it kind of just, we got passed down a sponsorship deck from the Auburn University previous presidents, and it just kind of got better and better each year that I was there. I had some good leaders in front of me that kind of showed me the ropes, and I just took it and ran with it. It was a great experience going to ICAST. I actually got the Auburn University Bass Team a booth at ICAST, which I think we were maybe the only college team to ever do that, to actually go there, set up a booth. I actually had sponsors come up to us asking us how to be on our jerseys, which was really incredible.
Unheard of. Yeah.
Yeah, it all really boiled down to ICAST. For me, I started going as a freshman in college, made a lot of good contacts there. And as I grew up within the team and took over as president, I'd been communicating with these sponsors for, 3 and 4 and 5 years at this point. I got to meet Fishin Chaos, which was, a big title sponsor of mine for the past 4 seasons. Morris Shea Bridge Company, Abu Garcia and Berkeley, Fishing or Real Tree Fishing. I mean, a lot of the companies that supported the Auburn Bass Team, they supported me my first 3 years fishing the Opens and fishing the Elite Series last year, and still this year even. So I kind of saw this vision, build my relationships with these companies while I'm at Auburn, show value to them, do as much as I can for them at ICAST as a college angler. And then the goal was to make that jump to fish the Opens. Hopefully they would come on board with me because I've been, such a great partner of them during my time as vice president, president of the Auburn team. So ironically enough, we had that great, that great senior season that you talked about. Me and Tucker won Angler of the Year. I actually pretty much had my jersey made for the following season for the Opens before we won the $1 million tournament. Fishin Chaos came on board. They were the first company to say, we're all in on, you. We believe in you. We want to be your title sponsor. And I really can't thank them and John Callagaz, the owner, enough. Abby Garcia stepped up in a major way. Berkeley, and then Realtree was an awesome partner of mine. And they just kind of got out of fishing this year, which is unfortunate, but really appreciate, Scott Hughes and all he's done for me. But all of those companies that believed in what I was doing at the Auburn team stood up and signed on with me. Really when they had, I won AOI in college, which is a big deal, but it's really not like compared to can you compete across the country, So to have them come on board, it was awesome. I had, the financial stability before we won that U.S. Open to know that I could at least fish the Opens for this year, this coming year. And then once we won that, the U.S. Open, that big tournament, obviously signed an awesome deal with Bass Pro Shops and Nitro Boats, and still with them today. Super thankful for them and for Johnny Morris and that incredible opportunity. Truly. But to win that amount of money, then I was like, all right, I can afford to try this for a significant amount of time. Seth Feider actually spoke to our team and he said, you can't give up on the Opens in 1 year. You need to give it 4 to 5 seasons to try to make it. On average, it takes a guy like 4 seasons to make it. It's what he told us. So I'm like, if I can fish 4 years, if I don't make it by then I'll probably get a job within the industry somewhere. And so after my second year, I actually qualified. So didn't have to push it out to 4, thankfully. And so here we are today, season 2 on the Elite Series.
And Seth, that was great advice from Seth. And what people don't realize is that's about $200,000 to $250,000.
Yeah,
literally, you're talking a season is $50,000 depending on how you do your stuff and on the circuit. You said 2 key words there: relationships and value. That is what I preach to everybody that's coming up. It's like, hey, build a relationship with sponsors. It's not just taking their money. It's not doing anything. You said growing up, the first thing I'd tell some of these young guys is ROI. And they're like, well, what is an ROI? I don't even know what that means. It's like a return on investment. If I'm going to give you $10,000, how are you going to sell $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 of baits? How are you going to show that you can show my product and stuff like that? And it's kind of a lost art anymore with people coming up. And that's what I want to preach to these guys and coming up and help people understand that, it's so much more than just fishing, so much more. The fishing's the best part, the most fun part. That's what everybody wants to do, Well, and that also led you into, you grasped it at a young age and stuff like that. So what led you to go from there to get a cameraman? You're now doing live, which hardly anybody's ever done before. Everybody thought you had a giant platform for sight fishing on the back of your boat. Little did you know, no, he has Starlink. He's got he's got his own website. He's got his own everything out there streaming all the, but what made you think, what? I need to take it to the next level. I got to get a cameraman. I'm going to go to YouTube. You've kind of grasped at it really quick out of the gate.
Yeah, I've just always seen the value in, social media and the power of it. Seeing some of these people blow up so quickly on TikTok, like, a couple of my buddies, Larry Melton Jr. is one of them. Another guy that actually went to Auburn, his name's Zuggy. That they just both just exploded on TikTok, really over COVID, 2020 timeframe, and they just went to the absolute moon, built 200,000+ followers in the span of months, it felt like, and just showed me like, wow, you can really create something more powerful than even your fishing results, something that will pay your bills consistently just by creating content. So when I was at Auburn, my senior year, the year that me and Tucker won AOI, I actually got the team together through ICAST, through selling shirts, through a lot of other things, we raised $250,000 for the team. That was just truly, about 100 more than anything we'd ever raised before. Had some awesome sponsors step up, sold a lot of T-shirts, did a lot of cool things, and we built up that. And then 2020 kind of happened too, so we had some money left over that we didn't get to spend because of COVID, not getting to travel and whatnot. So we actually started the Auburn University Bass Team YouTube series. And that was a series that followed us in 2021. We hired Brandon Feen, who's actually a Bassmaster Live cameraman now. They kind of stole him up from us after one season of him following us around at the college tournaments. But he filmed the whole YouTube series that season, and it did well. And it just really was cool to capture all those moments. So when I fished the Opens, I kind of tried to get a guy, and I just finally sat down when I made the Elite Series and said, look, like, you have to just pony up and make it happen, and realize that you have to look, 5, even 10 years out from now. You can't look at the, return that you're going to get on it next year, because it's not going to happen. I mean, I'm just now getting to where I'm making, $100 a YouTube video, which isn't very much, but like last year I made $0 a YouTube video.
Yeah, it's better than going in the hole.
Yeah, next year we'll make more, and the year after that, and the year after that, and eventually we'll get to the point where, we're hopefully making back what we invested early on. Like, some of these guys have done such a good job with their content, like Dustin Connell and Jacob Wheeler, and obviously, Scott Martin and Ben Milk, and they're absolutely killing it with the YouTube game. And it's very, very important. Sponsors almost care more about what kind of content you're posting than necessarily how you do in these tournaments, because that's the true way to create a return and sell product, is to put out engaging social media content that, really grab people's attention, make them want to purchase or do whatever you're doing. So that's why I hired Jack. And ironically enough, I also started my nonprofit around the same time. I was fishing the Opens the second season. I was really passionate about giving back to the high school and college communities, because I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for those two programs. And I decided to work with Fish and Chaos to host an event unlike any other tournament, an event where we combine the two groups, because it's always a high school tournament or it's a college tournament. In my freshman year of college, someone tried to do an event that was like this one, and it fell through. I just remember thinking, man, that would have been so cool, because I registered for it and I was going to go fish it, and then it just kind of didn't happen. But it was going to be where you took a college angler as the boater and paired him up with a high school angler as a non-boater. And I thought back to fishing in high school, how luckily I grew up here in Auburn. I got to know some of these college anglers, and they captained me and my partner Lucas in some high school tournaments. And they taught us a lot. Like, our dads didn't tournament fish. They never even fished on lakes. They just fished ponds. So luckily I had that opportunity to learn directly from some really good college anglers. I'm like, dang, man, so many other people don't have that opportunity, and they probably just give up on fishing because no one ever really teaches them how to catch fish, or, shows them the ropes. So I created the Logan Parks Fishing Foundation. We had our first event that fall of 2023. We had 84 teams. So we had 84 college anglers from 19 different colleges come and fish. And we had 84 high school anglers. We actually have a draft where the college angler picks his high school partner, and they pair up as a team and they fish this tournament. It's a really cool, unique format. And you can actually check it out on my YouTube channel. It's kind of complicated to explain the format, but it's a really cool one-day shootout. And I say all that to say Abu and Berkeley hired a cameraman to come down and film that event. Turned out it was Jack Leventree, who's now my full-time camera guy. So it's funny how things just kind of work. Got to know Jack at that event. I'm like, hey, I know you don't know me very well, but you want to travel with me all year next year? And he was game, and he's been amazing. And we just come together as a team, and, constantly we push both. He pushes me to be better, and I push him to be better.
Well, ironically, then you hired another cameraman last year, which happens to be my son.
That's right. That's right. So then we got Jacob last year. We got two camera guys. So who knows what we're going to have this year? Might need to get JT to come down.
Oh, that's all. Hey, from both of them, they both bragged it up. Jacob called me multiple times. I've been, Dad, you've got to come to this. It's unbelievable. It's just, he was just ecstatic of it. And I'm sure but was it Father's Day or Christmas? My Christmas present that he got me is your trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah, is your
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
The
I was like,
Alabama burning.
yeah, is a whole wood thing. I'm like, wait a second, I remember seeing that. He goes, yeah, that's what Logan had at the. So that was one of the presents. So I didn't go to the, but I got it hanging on my wall. So does that mean I won? So I can just put a little check down
Maybe.
below. Yeah,
That dude actually does some incredible stuff.
yeah, it was really cool.
Alabama burning on social media. He does this like boards. He burns them all. Like he posts some really cool videos about how he does it using torches and different things, and he can really create some incredible stuff.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, and that's what I'm hoping that people are tuning in and listening to this because, you're talking about selling product and working for the sponsors and stuff and understanding and social media is such a key, I've made my company was based off of social media. We built social media. We've worked for all the big companies in the industry, we've kind of shifted gears obviously to more of the content creation side just because we got a little burnt out on social media, you said it earlier. It's like, what you learned when running social media, it was hard to get, to make posts if the college anglers were, well, it was hard to make posts for us if the content wasn't coming in from everybody, for
Right.
brands. And so, but it's such a key. There's so many avenues out there to get numbers and eyeballs and for your sponsors and for yourself. One of the things that you've got LP, and your brand. And that's another thing that I want people to understand is that you are a brand. I mean, you're a pro angler. You're Logan Parks. That's your brand, so treat it like that. And it's a business. I have been blessed and unblessed. I guess, I've had a lot of businesses that I've started and failed, and I've had, ones that I've built up and sold off. And it's just each one of them, failure, win, whatever. It's taught me so much about how to be better at what I do. And I think that's the case with you guys. And especially, like you said, you took a little bit avenue, coming up through Auburn and you've got all that experience now. So when you hit it, you had sponsors already, that were a part of it. So you were a little bit ahead of the game, but still you worked for that. They just didn't come to you. You still worked for it. You just worked for it through Auburn first.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like since my freshman year of college, I decided, I wanted to try to fish, and how do I do that? I had a great mentor actually. His name's Todd Hollowell, and he did this little program for student anglers, and I was part of it for 2 years, and it just really opened my mind to like all of the stuff like marketing, branding, the importance of social media, and it like you said, it's a brand. So I recognize that Auburn University bass team was a brand, helped grow that brand. It helped catapult the Logan Parks brand to become a thing, because we had such a large reach within the team, getting the newspapers, the local news, and sometimes even the bigger news stations to talk about us and get our names out there. Um, Really helped, kind of get Logan Parks out there to people. And help me build the brand. And here we are today. It's pretty crazy how far things have come.
So you said earlier too, is like, in some instances, do you think that sponsors care more about your posts and your engagement and your stuff than you do maybe in a tournament? Like, like, do you feel that it's more time off the water? I mean, obviously it's on the water. You've got to fish, you've got to do all that kind of stuff. But this day and age, once you've qualified for the elites, do you think there's more work to be done off the water or still on the water for a day-to-day operation of Logan Parks?
I just, my philosophy on it is I want to be the last person that a company looks at and decides to cut. Any of my sponsors, I want to outwork all of the other people on the roster. Um, that's just how I look at it. These guys have given me the opportunity. They've trusted in me to you know do the deliverables in the contract, and then outside of that, I try to go above and beyond for them. You know, Really just trying to do everything. I mean, it's tournament fishing is very important. The tournament finishes, being on the Elite Series, like the Elite Series is an awesome platform, and it gives us the opportunity to showcase our sponsors on national television through FS1. The Bassmaster live stream is huge. And my sponsors do care a lot about that. It definitely gives you that kind of like Elite Series title. It's important still. But outside of that, you have to be more than just a tournament angler these days, especially if you're not on the Elite Series and you're aspiring to become a pro. Your social media is super key. It's really one of the only ways that you can stand out because, realistically, everybody can go to, a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people can have some success tournament fishing. And it's more than just your tournament resume now. It's like how many Instagram followers, how many YouTube subscribers, what's your engagement rate? All these things. And so like through all of that, hiring Jack, getting the YouTube series going, even going above and beyond the season, doing the live streaming thing, I just wanted to be the first person to kind of like have that edge to get ahead of the competition, which is really all the other anglers and their content creation. And I,
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My hat's off to Jack. All right. And you, because one of the things that is the guys that are out there, the Paul Nicks and Cooper Gallant, how he fishes and edits his own stuff. I told Coop, you're amazing.
Impressive.
It's insane how he does it, but you and Jack are putting those episodes out faster than pretty much anyone that's out there right now. And that's kudos. Everybody's kind of sitting there waiting. You're always waiting for that new YouTube to drop, right? You're waiting for that. And as a guy that owns a company that is video production and photography, it's impressive. People do not understand how many hours go into logging that footage, capturing that footage, and sleepless time and downloading and getting the content, being on the water. You're the first one up and you're the last one to go to bed most of the time. Now, Jack and Jacob might go back and take some naps while you guys are out there. You never know. But it's one of those things. It's a job, and they've treated it as a job. And in this industry, it's pretty easy to just get complacent and do that kind of stuff. And I just love the drive and the passion that he's got, and just taking you, like you said, you're pushing him to be better. He's pushing you to be better. And it's just it's a synergy. And I love watching it. I've got a young college kid, freshman, that's an intern working for us, and he doesn't miss a single video. So I asked him, who do you watch? He's a bass fisherman. He was on a high school team. I helped captain for 4 years. And man, I'm telling you too, that's some of the 4 of the funnest years I had probably of coaching any sport. And I've coached football, wrestling, baseball, all that stuff. But I had a blast. It's just my schedule doesn't allow me to. Now I'm an alternate because I just can't commit to it, because the first one every year is always during the Classic, right? The Classic's really busy, obviously, for us. But no, the way that you guys have done that is awesome. And it also comes to kind of my next thing is your house, right? The four amigos or whatever that you guys travel with. And obviously I see, Rob G's got a camera now, obviously my son, you and Jack, and I just see the behind the scenes footage. Plus I see some stuff that might not make it to the air and the fun that you guys have. But just kind of describe that, what's it like traveling with it? You guys got a pretty good solid brotherhood, it seems like there.
Yeah, dude, it's been awesome. We all fished against each other in college. Cody Huff, he was kind of a little older than us, but he was around for, I think, 2 seasons. I fished in college. John was there for 3 years. And then me and Rob were the same age. And we did the whole 4.5, 5-year program and fished in college a little extra. But it's awesome, dude. And that's kind of what I went into with the idea behind the YouTube series is, like Kyle or Vandy and Polinick, man, they've set the bar on like the cinematic, just incredible. Like their stuff is like watching a movie. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to try to one up that. And so even though Jack, he can do that stuff for sure, not taken away from him at all. He's incredible at what he does, but I really just wanted to showcase the life on the road. It's cool because he lives in Birmingham, which isn't far from Auburn. So he'll drive down and ride with me to these events. We can even capture that long drive, like what we're doing when we're stopping. And just trying to make it as relatable as possible, because everyone goes and fishes tournaments and stays with their buddies and like likes to have a good time. And a lot of that stuff isn't captured in a lot of the other people's YouTube videos that are on the Elite Series. They're kind of doing this. So that was kind of my goal, was like, let's make it about fishing, because that's why we're doing this. And let's include, these big fish catches and cool moments in tournament fishing, but really want to showcase that, behind the scenes, even the good and the bad, after fork, how pissed off I was, show like the real reaction, the interaction between the guys. And we have a great house, man. Like I really can't speak enough about the guys that I get to room with. They're all incredible fishermen, and they're all incredibly positive people. And it's just so refreshing and fun to be around. I mean, we're always laughing, cutting up, playing pranks on each other, doing other stuff. And it's nice just not being around a bunch of bitter, angry people.
Again, positive. That's what we love. We need more of that. Who would you say in your house is the most competitive out of you four?
John, for sure. It honestly really ticks me off. Like, we'll do other things and he just wins. Like, we threw darts at fork and he hit like 4 bullseyes. He's very good at just random things like that. I think me and Rob are pretty competitive at pool. We can hold our own at pool, but just random card games, it just seems like John always wins that stuff. It ticks me off so bad.
How about who's the biggest clown of the bunch?
Rob, for sure. Some of the stuff Rob says,
I didn't even really need to ask that question, but I wanted to, just because, I wanted to hear that. I said he gets more airtime sometimes in your episodes than he does in his own episodes, just because.
Last season there was a couple times that I didn't make the cut, and Rob did. Actually, both Florida tournaments, I think. And Rob didn't have a marshal on day 3, so I just put Jack in his boat, and we called them bonus Rob G episodes, and people love those. So Rob's helping grow my channel too.
That's awesome.
But it's a good time, man.
And that's, I mean, like you said, y'all competed against each other, but you've created that bond and that brotherhood and that friendship. You're literally competing against each other. But you help each other. You compete against. I guess one of my things after coming to the bass world years ago on the backside is I never really realized how much these guys can help each other. But off the water, the traveling groups. Hey man, here's 5 of my baits or whatever. Here's they might not give you the waypoint that they're catching them on. Like, I'm catching them shallow, 4 to 5 feet, blah, blah, blah. And how that really helps out. I mean, I think it was, wasn't it Cody? Cody gave John like the juice and never hit it. And then John ended up either winning or top 10 in or something like that. I mean, it's things like that.
That was
kind of mind blowing.
Yeah. And we all had really tough practices, and I ended up just kind of making it work in a little area that I found, but I don't think John really found anywhere to go. So Cody had like a secondary place, and I don't think Cody, unfortunately, thought it was that good. But that's just John Garrett for you. He'll go into a place and catch what swims there, and they just kind of kept coming to him. He ended up finishing second out of that place. But that's how I feel like we would all do that for anyone in our group. That's what it's all about, is working together to figure these places out. We are fishing against each other, but if all 4 of us, can do well together, that's kind of the goal.
So funny story about you guys leaving Sabine. So Jacob sent me, you guys were doing the crawfish boil the last night, right? And I see Cody doing that. So that was Saturday night or whatever. And then Sunday, there's here at Table Rock, there's a Solo Pro 100. And my buddy calls me that morning, goes, I can't believe this. Cody Huff is here. And he's like, I got to compete again, and he was so mad. He goes, and I was like, and he the same thing. He goes, I saw him last night on Snapchat or something, eating crawfish in Texas. Cody drove all night long, drove straight to the boat ramp, and he won the tournament.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
goody for you. He
yeah,
he was freaking dedicated about that. We were like, "Dude, stay, like, come hang out with us," and he's like, "Oh, I think I can win if I can get home in time." He said he literally pulled up to the boat ramp, like, 30 minutes before blast off and spent the first 2 hours of the tournament taking off all his spinner baits from the Sabine and rigging up different things for Table Rock and, ended up winning, so we're definitely happy for him, but that's some dedication right there to drive all night
yeah.
just to fish
Because
that.
he won Sunday, and then I fished a tournament Wednesday, and lo and behold, there's Cody at the tournament on Wednesday, that I'm in it, and I finally had Cody beat. Only,
Really?
only, and then Jacob was all about this one. I had a dead fish penalty.
No.
Cody won by 2 ounces and he didn't win the tournament, but I'm just like, I was like, all I wanted to do was have Jacob rub it in Cody's. My old man beat you. The next event, I can't believe you let my dad beat you. I can't believe
Yeah.
you Jacob was like all excited about it. So I was all bummed out because I get up there and Cody's like, oh, I got a dinky bag. And I'm like, man, we got like almost 14 pounds. I'm thinking on Table Rock right now. It's not bad, right? And Cody's like,
Yeah.
he's all mad. And I'm thinking, I'm kind of happy.
That's funny.
Yep. So we've got one this Wednesday. So we'll see if he's gonna fish that before he heads to 10 killer. I'm sure he will. He'll take more of my money before he leaves and make him buy you dinner on me. Just say, hey
Yeah.
man, you took that from
Actually,
JT. I know you just owe us dinner.
the last time, we were at 10 Killer, Cody brought home the win in the college national championship, so it'll be, I know he's probably excited to go back there.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was even. I mean, we go by it all the time, but I didn't realize it was that close. I was at Table Rock this weekend at the place, and it's only 2 hour and 45 minute drive from Table Rock. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
not bad at all.
not far for him at all. Off the sub, totally out of left field. What's your favorite boat snack?
Hmm. Favorite boat snack? Honestly, oatmeal cream pie is pretty dang good.
Little Debbie to the rescue.
Yes, sir. Them things are
Nice.
them things are bussin'.
Yeah, that is a turkey hunting tradition for
Yeah.
us. Everybody that is anywhere around me knows that you better have an oatmeal cream pie in your turkey vest, or you're not killing a turkey.
There's
Just a
also
superstition.
this other snack my wife has been getting their Welch's strawberry yogurt bites. They're unbelievable.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
trying to
really
stay away from Little Debbie. Little Debbie has put on too many Big Deborah. I do have. Have you ever seen those hoodies?
no.
Do you ever, who Justin Nunley is on
Yeah.
TikTok?
Yeah.
So he sells it's Little Debbie and it's Big Deborah and it's a hoodie. And I wear that hoodie to the gym to remind me that that's what that does if I keep eating too many of them.
Yeah, I had to lay off the Little Debbie's too. I've just been hammering down, not eating anything. Past couple times I've been out, just trying to slim down a little bit.
It's hard and easy to do. So, I want to wrap up. You've given so much like wisdom, advice, beyond your years. I commend it. So obviously you've talked about the social media, but like it's cliche, but I really want to finish with, what advice? I mean, there's high school anglers, there's college anglers, there's guys coming at the opens, what do you think is the main focus or what words of wisdom can you give these guys coming up? Say, hey man, this can help take you to that next level.
Yeah, I would say, if you're a high school or college kid, probably fish the Logan Parks Fishing Foundation tournament would be a good way to start.
Ooh, good
But
plug. Nice plug. I like that.
but seriously, that's honestly a great way to start building your network. And I think building your network is one of the most important things you can do. Um, going to ICAST, working for your sponsors. If you don't have any, go up to your favorite company and ask them if you can help. Just start somewhere. Start introducing yourself and building those relationships. And I see all too many times a lot of young kids, especially, are like, DMing brands and posting and commenting and emailing like, "Hey, can I get a sponsorship?" But you don't have really anything to like provide value. It's just like you're asking for a handout. You really need to build something worth, getting a sponsorship before you start asking for it. So I would just focus on like catching them, obviously, and building your network, going around to ICAST, the classic, introducing yourself to these people, asking if there's any way you can help. Support the companies that support you, whether it's on a high school or a college fishing team or whatever, and really focus on building your brand on social media. Do it your way. I mean, you kind of have to do it your way. I've seen a lot of different people kind of blow up on social media, like the two guys I talked about earlier, Larry Melton Jr. And he just kind of did things his way, posted the videos how he wanted to, and he's been blowing up. Zuggy has done his own thing, fishing locally around ponds, and a lot of guys like Hood Fishing, dude. He's just doing things his way, and it's working well for him.
G Money.
Yeah, G Money is another
I
great
mean,
example.
who would have ever thought that? You know what I mean? He never did. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's just
G Money is a great example, man, because like he's just going fishing and creating relatable content that like
who doesn't argue with their girlfriend?
yeah, anyone can do that. I mean, a lot of people don't have girlfriends, so maybe it's not relatable, but it's funny, and it's just something that you can relate to, really. Doing things your way, making it work your way. Don't be afraid to just put stuff out there. Obviously be careful about what you post, but I feel like a lot of people are kind of nervous just to, get in front of a camera and talk and stuff like that. And that's a fear you're going to have to overcome very quickly. And I still get tongue twisted every now and then, but having a camera in my face has really helped a lot the past 2 seasons.
Helps out Tucker, man. When I first met Tucker, it was right after you guys did that, and we took him on that photo shoot. I'm like, kid, you need to talk. He's so shy and so quiet, and but you get around him, him, he's a different person. But I'm like,
Yeah.
But that's great advice on especially learning how to talk on camera, man. Even just putting your cell phone up and just talking. You don't have to post the videos. Even just get used to saying stuff and not stumbling over your words. I mean, I can tell you as a guy that works with these brands and stuff like that, it goes a long, long way. You're going to get the phone call. Jack Dice, Jack. Well, Jack, it was, I think, the Bassmaster Classic in Tulsa years ago. Not this last one, but the one before that, years ago. And when GSM started getting into the buying Yamamoto and some of them other brands, and we're standing there talking to Jack, he had a deal kind of with them. But like 6 people walked up, 6 different people within 30 minutes walked up and said, "Hey man, I watch you on YouTube," or "Hey, when are you going to make another video?" And Crispin, the senior VP, and I were like, this kid must have something going on, because either that or he's really smart and set up his buddies to go do that for him.
Yeah.
Smart advertising if you're going to do it. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, you got to set it up. I mean, so. But it's that thing. I mean, kudos to you. Love what you guys doing. Love the behind the scenes footage. I'll be down at 10 Killer. See you guys down there. I got to head out to Kentucky Lake in a couple days for the MLF for a few days, but doing a photo shoot. But I just, again, hats off for what you do, what you've done. The Logan Parks Foundation. We'll try to put a link up to send that to you. If you're at high school, college angling, make sure you check it out. If you're a sponsor, also hit it up. Everybody that I've ever talked to says this is just an event that's just changing lives. You change a kid's life, obviously, by giving him your boat full of everything else,
Yeah,
So
it's been a really rewarding thing. It's something that I just kind of started. I know we're trying to wrap things up, but
no, you're good. Hey, I'm here to talk. So
I just kind of started it because, like I said, high school and college fishing means a lot to me. Wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for those 2 programs. And to see how excited, the guys are, and to be able to give back. And I mean, you're talking about positive things and negativity and stuff. Like, there's nothing negative going on at that event. Like, just, I feel like after the end of last season, it just, like, the northern swing, it kind of ended with just like this drama, life scope drama, negative. People are upset, and like, I find it hard to be upset about the opportunity to fish for a living, no matter what the rules are. It's if you're complaining about
Amen.
being a professional bass fisherman, you need to take a look in the mirror because there's a lot of people sitting at a desk that would gladly take your job. But anyways, all that to be said, like it just kind of ended like just like just bad vibe.
Yep.
And to turn around and put that event on a couple months later and just see that like this is the future and these guys are fired up, man. They're so passionate about fishing. It was really really refreshing to see and just reminded me of why I do this and why we put these events on. Because like it's cool winning big tournaments. Winning the U.S. Open was amazing. But I'm gonna say that putting on the tournament and actually watching people's lives change because of something that you're doing is right up there with that, if not better. It's an incredible experience, and I'm just glad that I get to be a part of it.
Better to give than to receive, the old saying, and it's awesome. I mean, I'm the same way. We've done a lot of stuff in my business, to try to give back. And like I said, for the 4 years in a row that I was on that high school team and captaining, so much fun. I think they all wanted it. They fought to get in my boat, one, because it was wrapped and I had all this stuff that they could use, but because I gave them crap. I flipped them crap from, I was like, really? I'll be sitting there, I was like, it's been 3 hours. I want a net of fish. You guys suck. Seriously, come on,
Yeah,
and it's different because like, and people don't understand when I'm out there and we're covering you guys on the water, we can't, we can talk to you, but we can't say anything. I don't turn on my live scope. I don't turn on anything because I don't want to know what's down there. It's just we're on the water, we're filming you guys, and you could be struggling, you could be having fun, but it's one of those things that just be on the water. I've learned, and I'm 54 years old, and you guys, the young guys, have taught me more about fishing than anything else. Lee Livesey years ago, I don't even remember what was that. It might have been a Hartwell or something, but he kept coming back to this one point underneath the bridge, and he would, we had to get down to go underneath the bridge. And there was a bunch of guys crappie fishing under there, and we're cutting them off every single time. But he goes back to the same spot every 30 minutes, and he kept casting. I'm like, I would never do that. He's like, they're gonna load there. I'm just waiting. And then all of a sudden he comes back after like the fifth time and catches a 3.5 pounder. I'm like, man, I would have never came back to that spot after the second time, But just little
yeah,
things like that people learn, and by your YouTube channels and your education and your social media, that's where these kids they're getting so good because you guys are teaching them. I didn't have that when like I said, I was farm pond creek. If we caught it, we cooked it and cleaned it and ate it. I mean, that was it. It was just no doubt about it. Right. I wasn't releasing bass and stuff like that.
right.
To see this now and to come up and just some of these kids are 12 years old and tying more knots than I even know what are. They know every bait. You go to and they're like, oh yeah, hey, I got this, and I'm like, I didn't even know what a Sakamata shad was, and I'm in the industry, until these kids are like, oh man, it's the hottest thing. You got to have one.
There's just so much access to information, man. Like that's why it's just people are like, I don't know if these guys can catch them without scope. Well, like, dude, they've already watched every old Bassmaster video there is to watch. Like, that they laid the groundwork for us to succeed. They showed us exactly what they're doing, and now we're showing the future generations what we're doing. And who knows how long I'll get to be around on the Elite Series before all these kids that are fishing my tournament get there, because there's some really, really good sticks coming, and they're doing things that I don't even know how to do. So it's just really cool to see, man. Everyone's just getting so dang good at fishing. It's really awesome.
Yep. No, man. I appreciate it. Again, thanks for coming on. One of these times we're going to bring your whole house on. I want all four of you guys on here at one time just to cut up and have some fun.
Let's do
Also,
it.
also just because I want to talk about the positive things that's going on. How everybody's got a little bit different story of, how they started, how it came about, and kind of tell that story. But thanks for the positivity. Thanks for the, your foundation, and just talking about social media and everything it's going to take. So appreciate it. Good luck the rest of the season. Hope you keep climbing that AOY standings, and I'll see you in another week and a half down at 10 Killer.
Sounds good. Thanks, man.